You know, I want to talk about something that just it keeps coming up to me for the last few days. This keeps coming up to the surface. And, this morning I got up and there was another comment, and it was somebody, attacking me for what I believe or what I say and twisting my words into what they hear and not really hearing my message, because you won't understand somebody unless you're at their level. This is what people don't seem to understand. Like, if you go in and you listen to somebody and they don't make any sense, whatever level they're at, if they don't make any sense, it is because you're not in alignment. You're not in resonance with them. They don't make any sense to you because you have to be in resonance. You have to be at the same vibration as somebody. Doesn't mean somebody's right or wrong or anything. It's just where they are at in their own growth, in their own understanding of the world, the universe, life, what it all means. Not everybody is at the same understanding. And this three-dimensional, this is, I don't want to just say a matrix, because everything is a matrix. Everything has some sort of structure in a cosmic sense. But this reality that is essentially, a babysitter for consciousness, because consciousness comes in to go through all these experiences, which, most of these ages have been, a lot of hard experiences, a lot of opportunity for people to come in and play out evil, which a lot of people have. They've come in and played out some dark shit. This is, where you get to come and do that, because this is like a playhouse, but it's a playhouse of learning. So you come in and you play your part in the play, and, maybe you played the villain, and next time you want to play the person who takes out the villain. You get to play all the different parts. You get to understand life from all angles. That's what reincarnation is all about. So this place where all these people are trapped right now with their consciousness has it hasn't developed out of its own understanding of self. It can only see itself through the system. You can tell my tongue's still doing it. It's like, oh, I gotta try and make my tongue work. And I don't know. I don't really feel like there's a lot of other sensation, but there's definitely something with my tongue being stuck. I just want those med beds so bad. I swear to God, the other day, and I drove to town, which I got to drive to town today, because my one daughter who's moving, I'm going to go drop off boxes and pick up some stuff. Like, there's plants and stuff she can't take, so I'm going to go pick up that stuff and bring it back here. And when I drove to town the other day to pick up my groceries, I was noticing like there was this big spot I couldn't see, and it wasn't like in the peripheral, because glaucoma, it closes in the peripheral, so you start getting like tunnel vision, and then eventually it just closes all, all of your vision just goes away. But the other thing, the treatment that they did to try and save my eyes, their laser treatments and their chemicals and shit putting into my eyes, whatever it did, it created these things in my eyes that I can't see past. It's like all this stuff. And when I was talking about that lady the other day who had dissolved her vitamins in water and then put a magnet up and saw that she was pulling the we're not allowed to say the word anyways, but if you know what I'm talking about, if you've looked it up, if you haven't looked it up, go look it up, and you will see this stuff that all these different doctors and stuff have been looking under microscopes and looking to see what's inside of the stuff that they put inside people. And they saw this black stuff that when you put a magnet, it moves in together, it connects with itself. And then it seems to have a mind of its own, like it's a creepy creature, like all by vibration. We're so far advanced to what we understand. And yesterday I started watching this movie. It's a new movie, And I'm so sick of some of these people. Like, they are pushing certain people on us so freaking hard right now. Like, oh my God, is there a movie that Ryan Reynolds isn't in right now? Nicole Kidman, Channing Tatum, whatever his fucking name is. All of these people, they just push these people on us. Like, there's no other actors in the world. Like, if this is for people to be able to have an opportunity to act, shouldn't everybody get different parts? Like, shouldn't everybody get opportunities to play these parts? Like, what's going on here? Like, they're the only good actors in the world, or these, this 10. And they just happen to be very, very sure about their beliefs. And, we all need to believe them and listen to them and do what they say, because they're the leaders, They are who are here to lead us on this path to hell. So, I don't know, it's irritating. But in the movie, they were definitely disclosing so much advancement. It was about time travel. And in the movie, though, they had the younger version of the boy, the older version, and his dead dad all going and teamed up, working together. Like, they make some far-fetched stuff about time travel. They got to do the Hollywood version, because time travel is more like it's about your consciousness. I don't know, just doing your inner child work, that's time travel. Going back and being in that place, going back and reliving the pain, changing your story. That's time travel. I've talked about it before, where people are trapped in a past. Time keeps going. We're all, continuing to live our lives, but somebody's trapped back in their pain. That is time travel of this consciousness in this existence. So, you can look into the future. Like, I guess I do look into the future too, but a lot of the future is just shown to me, it's just shown to me. And, it's not like I'm trying to see it. Like, I'll try and see some things, but yeah, it is, that is time travel. That is going and looking at another time in this existence. So seeing into your future and knowing what your future is. So that's time travel into your world. And they're making it into like a physical thing. Like, like if you're doing your inner child work, like you are physically going in and being present. That's what they're doing. Like, they've all teamed up together to go do this stuff. And like that we are a physical being, and we're taking our physical body and moving it into different places and different realities, which I think that we are headed more for that kind of thing, where we do learn about portals. Like, it had a lot of stuff about portals. And funny enough, was just watching, I couldn't find something to watch, and so I was like, oh, I should go in and watch Marcus DeStefano. Maybe that's what I'm in the mood to learn something. And because it's teacher learner. What you learn, share with others, be vulnerable, it's to help other people so they can understand things and trigger their inner knowing. And so he was talking about portals and what portals were. And then I put on this movie, and it is showing, what Hollywood is showing us about the portals. And it has craft that go, and they aren't from other planets. They're from here, but from the future. And they can, disappear in the sky because they go right through a portal. And I've seen ships up in the sky, and they do that. They just all of a sudden just disappear. And I've told you, it's like a flash of light when they do, like all of this color. And it is just going into portals. That guy, Marcus DeStefano, was talking about something with the stars and the internal, everything represents micro, macro, but the something about the internal struggle and the trying to understand yourself and stuff. You'd have to go in and listen to him. His stuff is really good. I highly recommend listening to him, because I think it will, trigger on your inner knowing of things that you remember. So he was talking about that the open space, which space isn't like what we think it is, but the open space around the stars, that's more the portals. The stars are like realities. And that's what I keep saying. Everything is like realities. We're surrounded by realities. It isn't that planets, planetary systems and stuff. It's realities everywhere. Right now, there's kind of a merge of realities because we have people coming from other realities to come and help us move out of this reality, because this is such a significant change to the entire solar system, which we are all a part of. And so this transformation, this moving into a new age in the planet, actually doing it, moving into a higher vibration, is very significant to the whole solar system. And so we have a lot of beings that are assisting us. Like when you start, tapping in, the more you pull free from this 3D mind trap. That's the thing. And these people who come at me who are trying to get me to understand, like if I, like they want to keep me in the 3D. It's like, dude, I've barely been in the 3D my whole life. And I'm sure the hell not going back. Like I've said before, I feel like I am somebody who's coming from a higher realm, put on this spacesuit, come down here to try and get people to wake up and say, hey, notice this, notice that. Do you realize where you are? This is pulling free from this, parasitic energy force that is a reality that is created to hold on to your consciousness, to keep you being small and little. And, but in the time travel thing, I think when we start actually what we consider time travel, because it isn't changing time, it is going into other times, yes, but they're all presently happening. Like, so it's not like you are going into, like, it's nothing about time. Time is what we register as a measurement so that we can understand. Like it's been used just to enslave us. Like it is crazy when you really start realizing, that they told you 8 hours of your day, 10 hours, 12 hours, it depends on your job, is nothing. You got 24 hours, it's your time to go make money. No, it's the time that you have to develop yourself. It's all of your free time is taken by this all-consuming. And they put pressure on you, make you feel like, you have to do this. If you're not married with 2 kids and, on your second divorce by the time you're 30, then you're failing life. If you are not a single mom who's working 3 jobs with your asshole ex, just nipping at your heels, then, you're not living the dream. It's like what they're selling is people have to decide, I'm not buying it. There's something more out there for me. And, but in the movie, when they're showing some of that stuff and he kept talking about quantum, well, that's what we're moving into. So they drop these little nuggets, but, as they're dropping them, they want us to be like, you start telling somebody about time travel. Oh my God, you watched way too many movies. Stop watching movies. It's like, dude, movies are disclosing truth. You don't understand. They're not there to entertain you. This is programming. Like life was very different before TVs were put in every home. The life for a human being was completely different until they started doing the programming. And now we're seeing how really significant programming is and what they have done to people's psyche. I mean, people are so trapped and they try and keep pulling you back in. The more you pull away, they want to just keep pulling you back in. And that's where you got to stay strong. You can't let other people define you. And, when somebody's coming at me, it blows my mind too, because, I'm trying to go out there and build people up and help them to see things that they aren't noticing, and to, it's like turning our brains back on, because all they've wanted to do is turn them off, and helping people to, turn them back on. And, for my whole life, I was always shutting myself off because, I didn't fit in. I was a weirdo, and everything I try and tell people, and be dismissive, laugh at me, stop being my friend and stuff like that, and treat me like I was some sort of a psychopath. And, I'm trying to think of how many people, was there people, like my friend, who saw Bigfoot, like, I could talk to her about Bigfoot because, she saw him, so she knew it was real. And I know I've talked to people about aliens and stuff where they've been like, not into it, not like believe about it, but interested in, oh yeah, maybe that'd be cool, but, like if you were talking to them, say, and, you're having this conversation about aliens and, they're real, dude. I know they're real. I mean, they talk to me, and people would be like, oh, really? Wow. But then you go and you're with some other people and you say it, like, yeah, tell them what you said. And they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy, because they've got to fit in. They don't want to be outcast. So, I was so much time of being considered ridiculous. And like I've said before, it wasn't until 2021, right before I started doing this, where I started seeing like, oh, I'm not here to change. I'm here to help people see what I see, not shut myself off, but to shine a light so people can see what I see, and it was hard, all of the stuff I've had to go through to get to where I'm at. And it's been very isolating. I mean, I still have people who, aren't talking to me, think I'm crazy. I mean, that's definitely the key phrase, if you're going to talk about me, is, I'm crazy with crazy beliefs. But until you see what I see, and I'm not crazy, I've known this stuff for a long ass time, and it's only shown itself more clearly to me. It hasn't become like I'm grasping onto straws. No, it's become really clear to me as all this stuff is going down in the 3D, this whole purpose, like what all this is about. So when you have your inner knowing and stuff, you can't, it's like a test when people come up and try and ridicule you, like what I've talked about before. When people come on and they start attacking people for their beliefs, it's like you've found time in your day to go and spend it looking for people to attack, looking for someone to argue with, instead of developing yourself or looking for what interests you or trying to understand more about something. You're going to go in and try and attack somebody else for their inner knowing. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. And the one guy who was saying this rude stuff this morning, he also, when I went on to click and see, because hardly ever do I get a notification. I mean, hardly ever. So, if you've left any comments and I haven't said anything, it's because I don't get a notification. But, I got a notification of this one. And when I went on and saw, like, dude, you don't get me. Like, why spend your time listening to me? You don't get what I'm talking about. So go find a channel you do. And, so I went in, I was like, I'm just going to block this character. I mean, if you're this rude of a person to just attack somebody, and plus to bully, essentially, we're supposed to not bully people who have mental problems, right? I've got a brain injury and you're going to come in and bully me. It's like, if anybody who listens to me, that's up to them, Either you hear the truth in your inner knowing or you hear a crazy person. If you're going to spend time listening to a crazy person, like, you got a question, like, what am I doing with my time? So when I went in and saw his thing, it was trippy because, he had a couple followers or whatever, because he was making a channel, and his little thing is he's spiritual. He's here to guide people spiritually. And like, if you are here to guide people spiritually, why are you spending your time going in and attacking other people? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And, because to me, I know everything will reveal itself. There's spiritual people out there who are not, talking about what's real. Like, there's certain ones who are all about manifesting and manifest all of these three-dimensional shallow, materialistic kind of things, you know. It's like a trap to keep you more trapped in the 3D, you know. These commercials like, you know, work on your credit and give money to the people who are struggling. Like all of that stuff is all, it's all nonsense. It's all to just keep you focused on their system. And so, you know, I mean, there's spiritual people who are, you know, preaching that, you know, how you can make it in this system. Just do this, you know, materialize this, materialize that. And it's all shallow shit. Well, I don't need to go in and fight and argue with them and try and point it out to them. Like, they can figure it out for themselves. You know, the universe will show it. It will unfold the truth for them, just as it will unfold it for everyone. And then it's up to you to see. But the universe will weed out the truth. Like, it's not like I have to go and police it. So I have to make sure everybody believes what I believe. I don't even go in and listen to other people. Like, what is this guy doing? Coming in and listening to something I'm talking about. Where's your internal knowing? What are you trying to help people with? You're claiming yourself as a spiritual leader. Like, what are you doing about that? He even went on another video and started saying something about, you know, like I should go put on some clothes. Like, what? Like, I don't know. People are so caught up in confusion, you know, they just don't know how to break free. They don't know what the hell's going on, and they're so caught up in their biases and judgment and stuff that it's a trap. It is the cage that you build around yourself. And so many people have got, you know, like they kind of have a moat around their cage, and you know, they are using it to hide and, you know, shoot at everybody else. Like, it doesn't make any sense the way that they are acting or reacting to all of these changes. It has got to be, you got to go more inside. It's more an internal challenge, you know what I mean? Trying to change what's outside of you, trying to change other people's opinion so that you can feel satisfied with your own doesn't make any sense. You have to, you know, understand how you feel. You know, it's in your inner knowing. Like, I just blocked that guy. I don't know if I mean, some of these people who just, like, they don't even know your content. They don't really know your message. They hear something they don't agree with, and then they just want to go in and attack you over your beliefs and what you're putting out there. It's like, dude, I'm not chasing you around. I'm not going in and reading your stuff. I'm not going in to find out what you're talking about so that I can fight and argue with you. Like, that is you. That's the kind of person you are. Like, you need to look at you. What in you is the motivator to go out and try and shut other people's opinions down? Do you not understand what freedom means? Freedom to be your true self. Freedom to be authentic. Freedom to speak your truth. You know, you can, you know, anybody can get a soapbox and stand in the park and talk about whatever they want. If people come up to listen, that's up to them, you know? So why would you go and attack the person on the soapbox? Because other people want to hear what they have to say. So, you know, it's just this whole thing of pulling free from the system, because the system has been built so much on this hierarchy, I'm better than you, and judgment and division. And people are still so, you know, lapping onto that like little puppies. The little puppies sucking on their mama's nipple. And, you know, they can't let go. And, you know, the other puppies are over here playing and frolicking about and having a good time. And this one's just over there, you know, suckling like a little baby. You know, they don't know how to break free and go out and play and discover and explore. You know, they don't feel safe. So, but the thing is when these people don't feel safe, they've got this, such a dark side of themselves that come out. This bullying, you know, this policing what other people say, you know, like every time I went on Nextdoor, If I said a damn thing, here comes, the Ted Royal, the police of next door, and then, telling me he was getting me kicked off as soon as his friend, the administrator, got back from wherever he was. And, he did. And got me kicked off because my opinion was different than his. And every time I would ever put it out, it was like, what do you have notifications on me, dude? Like, what are you tracking me? You freaking weirdo. Like, why can't I talk? You're out here just spreading your negativity. You are spreading hate. You're bullying people. And you get the platform. Nobody else can talk but you. And that's what these people, they're all a part of the micro macro. They are a part of that stifling system to want to put us down and to keep us small and keep us, controllable. And it's up to us to break free from that. And, all of this stuff is transforming. Everything is transforming, and it's up to each of us. Like, we will be the ones who stop doing it because we'll stop doing it. We'll feel it in our hearts. We'll know, like, hey, this isn't right. Like, well, I've got better things to do with my time and energy. I want to focus on what makes me feel good. I want to focus on things that develop my sense of self, and maybe it's artistic and creative. It could be so many different things. We all have different things that are important to us. And, but this is a time period of, development of self, not going around and trying to get everybody else to be like you. It is learning to accept people who are different than you, because there's room for everybody. There shouldn't be a template of what a human being should be, we're from all over the place. We all have all different kinds of life experiences that help teach us. And, on a certain level, we're all connected. We're all from the same thing. We're all from the same, if you make bread or something, that same loaf, we're all from the same loaf. It isn't like we're all from different loaves. It may feel like that because we focus on the external. And, when we're focused on the external, we're also focused on trying to get people to like us and developing our external, which is all fake and phony, because it's all to try and make other people happy. There's nothing in it about making you happy and standing strong in yourself and learning to love yourself and developing yourself. It's all about conforming and oppression, suppression, repression. It's all to keep you small. And they want to keep you small. They want to keep you as a shell of a person, because that's where they profit, because they make money off of us. If you can't afford the big pharmaceutical, then they've got their street drugs, they've got alcohol, they've got shopping, they've got drama, they've got a number of things to keep you down and small. But they want to keep you, available for what they offer. So if you're a shell of a person and somebody gives you a magic pill that's going to make you feel better, then it's going to seem like, yeah, well, that's what I need to do is take this pill. I need to figure out how to feel better. And it's all part of their trap, because you're not going to do your inner work. You're not going to start feeling better. It's all fake. It's an artificial feeling better. Unless, if you are on some sort of, antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and at the same time you're doing your work so that you are developing yourself so you don't need the medicine, so you can wean yourself straight off of it, because you don't want to be reliant on something to make you feel good, especially something that is chemical based, that is interfering with other parts of your body and your organs, your blood, and, your whole system of how it works, the whole domino effect in there. So you have to, you have to recognize this stuff for yourself and see it's not for you. That is the awakening. It's a spiritual awakening to get to the point of wanting to develop yourself and wanting to pull free, to not want to be controlled by how others need to see you, to not want to take a magic pill to feel better, to actually focus on your health. Focus on your mental health, your physical health. Focus on your spiritual connection and taking time to develop yourself and understand about yourself. And, I mean, as we proceed, like we're going to be going through some more, something really big is coming. And, we've been having a lot of horrible things. I mean, I don't pay attention to much of it, like there's a lot of bad stuff happening, but it doesn't really have to do with me. It's not happening in my house. And if I'm focusing on what's causing others pain, then it's going to keep me in like a low vibration, depressed, not focused on myself. So if I'm focusing on myself, then I am focusing on what I'm here to learn and what I'm supposed to be understanding. And, I think that's what we're all supposed to be doing as we awaken. And, the awakening is so multi-level because it has so much to do with this world. It has so much to do with your own self, your soul, your relationships. Everything that has been about your existence is falling apart right now. It's a restructuring. It is getting rid of what wasn't working. And that's why we have to notice what wasn't working. We have to see it. We are the change. We are the ones who have to look at it and go like, man, we don't want to have a world like that. I don't know that we're going to even continue to have TVs in our house. Like, I think that we are completely changing. I mean, there may be, some TVs and classic movies kind of things, where people are like, oh, I want to watch that movie every Christmas or whatever. I don't know about all of that stuff. It's going to be up to each person. And there probably will be a lot of households you'd go into and there would no longer be a TV because people are going to be very irritated when they figure out like it was all there just programming my kids. And I didn't even recognize it. Like, if I didn't see that, it's like there was a serial killer in my house and I didn't even notice they were in there. That is, a lot of people are going to feel like that. Like, what? I need to just have it not be anywhere near me. So I think there's going to be so much shifting, and it's all reprioritizing because you can't have the same priorities. Your soul doesn't have the same priorities as your avatar. Your avatar is trying to fit in to this three-dimensional world, and it's all based on ego and and that's why they have to go in and attack others for their beliefs, because it's all on their ego. Their ego is just going out of control. And everything that's happening, like this big thing that's going to happen, is going to knock these egos where it hurts. It's going to be like a gut punch to the ego. And it's where things become crystal clear. It's where things flip the other direction, where, everything right now, talk to anybody and you're going to be like, man, the world is upside down. This doesn't make any sense. They're saying black is white and white is black. They're messing with everybody's head. That's the upside down. When it flips to the right side up and the truth is in front of you and there's no denying the truth, that is going to be a big gut punch to these people whose ego is out of control. That's why I said they're going to go into a dark space to heal. Like, the dark night is all about your ego. It's all about, dealing with your ego and getting yourself centered. And so many of these people, they've used these toxic behaviors and, this bullying and virtue signaling, these SJW, all of that stuff, that it seems so out of control. But they are going to, when it flips right side up, the people who are true to the way they were, they aren't just paid spokespeople to do something and say something. Like, I don't know, that's what they'll have to face in themselves. But the ones who are truly believe this reality is real and that we are all just, interfering with this wonderful, wonderful world that they are trying to live in. And, when they see the truth and they go into their dark night, that's what I talk about. They're going to go into a time of such healing, and it's going to be the people who were the snottiest, meanest people. And, you know, that's where we have to just, we don't want to keep this going. We don't want to keep these arguments, this hierarchy. Well, I told you, I knew, I was better than you. You know, we don't want to keep that going. That's not what we want this world to be. That's just going to hold us longer in this confusion. You know, it's pointless. When you are truly spiritually awakening, you will see the world in a new way. You know, there's no reason to go in and attack people because that they don't have awareness and they don't understand things on the same level as you, because this is their awakening. They have to wake to that, and it's going to be like a slam dunk, right? You know, slam them right into having to see parts of themselves that they don't realize exist. You know, all of this stuff happening is to bring stuff to the surface, and you know, this virtue signaling, I'm better than you, hierarchy, you know, oppressive behavior that they do with their bullying and shaming people for having different beliefs and stuff. They are going to be faced with that, you know, that they are the problem that they see. And just like I saw this perfect meme yesterday, and it was one of those kind of SJW ones that were going around for a while, more when Trump was in office, and they would be like, you know, they hate him and he's going to put us in a war and he's so horrible or whatever. So it's this one girl, like if you've seen her face, I think her face is very recognizable as an SJW movement. I think she always looks crazy, and she wears glasses, and she's got a beanie on and short hair. And I think she's put out some videos of herself shrieking and crying and going insane. And so she's in a lot of memes. And this one was, you know, when it was Trump, you know, it was like, no, you know, he's going to get us in a war, fuck him. And now they are all in this time period. It's like, go to war, fuck them. You know, it's like, but they don't see themselves. They don't see their true selves yet. And that is what, you know, the universe is going to accommodate them on that. They're going to show the truth. When everything goes the other direction. Right now we're in that movement. I was telling my friend, I see it kind of like it's a wave. Like everything is going to be like it's a tsunami of change coming in. And the wave is created. We are the momentum of the wave. As we wake up, we create the wave, the size, the height, all of it. And it is going in its movement. So if you have the wave, you know, when it starts curving up like that to come back the other direction, when it's down here, like we're down here, but when it's in this movement, it starts moving faster. That's why everything feels like it's moving faster, like something big's coming. You can feel it because this wave of energy is changing, and it is all, it's a part of the whole thing. It has to happen this way. It is the going right side up, because when we go into the age of Aquarius, we will be right side up. It will be because we make the changes, we prioritize, we change the world by looking at it different, seeing the truth, seeing the control. And then when this wave happens and it switches to go right side up, that is when, you know, that wave goes, that is when it's going to be like where people have to begin to see themselves. It's going to be like the universe is holding up a big mirror in front of them. And the thing to do is to not go in and argue with people and point it out to them and beat them down while they're already feeling so low. Because when your ego gets a gut punch like that, it's very devastating, you know, but you have to realize what you're dealing with. You have to see your ego is separate. And this is a battle between the head and the heart, you know. It's a battle between the soul and the mind. You know, the ego is, you know, the master up in here is, you know, weeding through the information. And this is a receiver and a processor. And it's like your ego is the guard over the room. And when you are cut off from your soul, from your spirit, then your ego goes fucking mad. It goes crazy. It's just thinks it runs the show. That's why it's all so important about this connection between head and heart, getting balance in your ego, getting balance in your perception, and, connecting with your soul. Go in and, converse with your soul, and let your soul begin to show you and direct you rather than your ego. There's a lot of times, my ego starts talking, almost say, shut up, little bitch. I'm like, I don't need to hear you, because it is a lot of negativity. It's a lot of keeping you small and keeping you beat down and putting you down. And you gotta, you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to believe what it says. It's there to protect you, to keep you safe. But in this case, it has been inflated and out of control. And so when this flips upside down and people have to see themselves at their core, it is truly going to be like a mirror is held before your face, and you have to see everything about you, and you can't get away from it. And you will be held in that state until you start moving yourself free from it, until you start seeing what is coming to the surface. What is it I'm trying to heal here? What is it I'm trying to notice about myself? And then you got to start processing through all the muck, and it's all about releasing old pains. It's all about that they gave us the tools to build our own cages, and we used our painful experiences to, trap us behind these walls, to keep us small so that they could continue to, mind fuck us and keep our consciousness in a state of dependence. And, that's why it's so valuable about independence and freedom and being true to yourself and being authentic. And those are the things to change. And when these things come up to the surface, like, I can't believe I was such a dick to that person or whatever, it's learning to see things at a different level, to understand why you're here and what you're here to learn about, and to accept yourself. There's so much about learning to accept yourself and to love yourself and to see yourself as somebody who's here learning, because when you can do that for yourself, you can do it for others. It changes the dynamic of how we interact. And that is, the process to move us into this new time, this age of Aquarius, because it's going to be on that level. It's not going to be, Joe Blow trying to tell you what you need to do to be acceptable. No. And you will have people, like, you don't need every single person to love and adore you. You want to have people who are in alignment with you, who you interact with, so that you are living a high vibration life. You're living a life that feels good. And, when you can understand what life is all about, it changes how you perceive it. It's not all about treachery and I hate life and life sucks and it's too hard. It's just people don't understand. You're just here in a play, playing a part. And you are not going to stay here forever. You're not going to be on the play stage forever. You're going to leave it eventually. And, the other members of the cast may be super sad. But it's all about what each other learns from one another. And there's a lot of lessons behind death. They've made us feel like death is real and that it can occur. But it's just somebody leaving the stage. It's just somebody leaving one reality, going to another reality. And we're surrounded by realities. And we are all connected. You can't get away from, souls. Like your sister dies and leaves you. Well, they are still there with you. You have a soul connection. You are connected at a level that you don't understand. Just leaving the stage and going out of the physical arena is not leaving you. You are still connected to this person. Like I've said before, any of these people who are transitioning, you can go in and start talking to them. And you'll feel them. You'll feel their presence. You can have conversations. You will hear them speak to you. You will feel what their messages are to you. And it's all based on you and your connection to the spiritual world, because the spiritual world is the real world. This world that they're selling you on is not the real world. This is just a play. This is just, it's like you go to be in a play and then they keep telling you this is real life. This is real life. No, this is who you are. This is who you are. And when you leave this play, you cease to exist. And in order to leave this play, if you want to continue to exist, you have to, step A, B, C, D. They make the rules of everything. And there is no rules like that. There's no rules. There is God's laws. And the laws of God is the path to enlightenment. You follow those laws, it will lead you to a higher place in yourself. Yourself will develop if you follow by those laws. And it is a way to help us develop ourselves. It isn't like people just have a completely different idea of what things are. And that's why we are going to move into a time period where we don't have government and overseers and people controlling us. And, that's why I don't like to listen to some of these people like Juan or whatever, just like, oh yeah, you got to get out there and vote. We got to do this, we got to do that. Bullshit. We need to let go of this system. We need to become true to ourselves. We need to develop ourselves. We don't need police if in our heart and soul we know that it is bad to go and take another soul's life, that is that soul's reality. It's their existence. It's their time. It isn't up to us to go and cut someone else's short. So, it's us that will make the changes. It's us developing ourselves. But that is what we're headed for, is a time where we live in communities of like-minded beings and we enjoy life. And we feel abundant. We don't feel worried, that we have time for ourselves to develop, time to spend with people that we love, and that we appreciate the time when we have it. It's not going to be a chore. Like, I barely have any time of the day and I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be such a different way of being. It's going to be a lot more of like the island life. Like, you just go with the flow, just live your life. And you will be finding yourself more tending to want to spend time with people who are in alignment with you, not people that want to argue with you. But everybody has those different groups. Like early on when they were showing me that this time period is kind of like you take all those different colored marbles and you put them on that board. And then you start shaking that board with vibration. And those marbles are going to align with their same colors. They're going to go into the pocket with the same color. That is what we are doing right now. We're coming into alignment. And we are vibrating towards, gravitating towards like-minded people. So that it's not so that we can, just be... our little snotty groups, like we're better than you. No, it's so that we can have people that we're in alignment with, so that we stop the friction. The friction will end. And when people want to go and develop themselves, they'll go into different communities to learn and to understand and to get people's perspective. And it's going to take a little while for some people to get to that, because we have so much healing. There's so much stuff that is being brought up. And it is at a time when this whole world, this whole reality is crumbling, is going to fall apart. And it's going to devastate a lot of people. Like I've said, anything people are holding on to, all of a sudden, even when the school system gave that little beta test, that they weren't there for them, there was still people just, oh man, what am I supposed to do? I can't homeschool. I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, you're trying to follow their curriculum. Why? Why are you trying to do what they're telling you to do? What does your child really need to know? It needs to know to read and write so it can communicate with others. It needs to, how much math do you need to know? You need to have the basic concept, but there's calculators. You need to understand how to use one. But those are all life skills. Like, you can teach your kid some of this stuff by taking them to the market. Have them write the list of what you need to get at the store. Have them to go in and, tell them, like, this is how much money we have and we need to eat this week. What things do you think we should eat? Give them the ads to the paper so that they can figure out, like, that's where they start learning real life skills, like how it works. How do I learn to take care of myself? I have this much and I need this. How do I divide it up? And, getting them to participate. And that's the development, showing them skills of like how to sew, how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of themselves. That's not stuff you go to school to learn. School has become just a babysitter indoctrination camp for the government. It is nothing that we want to have anything to do with. So during the beta test, people were just like scrambling, like they need it, as soon as it opened back up, they're right back in it. So that is, they're holding on to a system. So when the education system, really reveals itself, a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. I can't believe I was letting them teach my kids. And, that's going to be a lot with their ego and stuff like that. But, at the same time they're dealing with that, they're having to deal like with, well, what am I going to do now? There's no school. Is my kid, what's my kid's future? Like, there's so much behind everything. And that's why I talk about when you see a system and you know what it's a part of, that's where you got to just start letting go. I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of what is my credit karma. I don't need to know about, how to build my credit. And I don't need to know what, like these commercials now where they have like droids arguing with people about their medical condition. Like, if you can't see the messaging behind the programming, it's up to each person to begin to notice what it is they're trying to develop this world into. I mean, idiocracy, 100%. And, they want to kill most people anyways. But this, the Green New Deal and stuff like that is just about taking our jobs away to keep us in poverty. They want to turn the whole world into a third world country. That's why they did it in all of those. Those were the beta of what they wanted to do on a bigger scale. Now they're coming at it on a larger scale, and it's not going to work for them. It's going to, they're going to implode it on themselves, because greed and power and stuff will only take you so far. And this is where this whole thing is going to end. It's like Custer's last stand for them. This is it. And the absurd stuff that is exposing, and that still people just stay trapped, not being able to see through it. But you have to be in touch with your soul for things to become transparent in this three-dimensional existence. When you are in touch with your soul, you see straight through it. Like, I see straight through it. I don't care who wants to come in here and ridicule me and put me down and say stuff. That's just because that's the kind of person you are. You're not going to change what I see. I see things clearly. And, I'm just telling other people, you can see them clearly too. It's all about doing your healing. It's all about connecting to yourself and to disconnect from this fake ass world. And, but there's a lot of stuff to it. There's a lot of people who are, like I was, on 18 pills. And, that's, they think like, oh, well, the rest of the stuff is bad, but, I need my medicine. No, you don't. That's a part of the illusion. That's part of the trickery. You don't need all of this unnatural stuff. You need to learn how to take care of yourself. And there's so much plant medicine. I saw, I've talked about the castor oil. I talk about, I'm putting this oil on my face now. I used to use different products. And then once I started seeing like, oh, these products that they sell us, they have chemicals in them to get our skin to become like addicted to these certain chemicals. So you have to use that chemical on your face. And if you stop, then your face will age real fast. And so, they're putting things into all this stuff, and then you're absorbing it into, your tissues. And so, I'm trying to get more into all natural stuff. So the castor oil you know, I'd gotten that castor oil to put into my hair, ooh, which I noticed, I think I cut more like 4 or 5 inches off. So crazy after you trim your hair. Then, because I did it over a couple days, I didn't do it all at once, or I'd have a better grasp. But then when you do, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it used to be hanging down to here, now it's way up here. But anyways, I had gotten this castor oil for my hair, and it came out, when I got it, it was way too thick. It was super, super thick. And so I knew it was good for your skin. So I started putting it on my eyes. And then I started saying like some of these weird little growths that they call like skin cancers and pre-cancer skin stuff or whatever. I started noticing, oh, they go away. If you put aloe vera and you put like castor oil, these things go away off your face. And, you know, because they put chemicals in us to make us develop more things, and we think we need the chemicals, but no. And so then I saw yesterday also a doctor, and he was talking about avocado oil, just regular avocado oil that you would go and get off the cooking aisle. And that how good that is for your skin, and how it puts collagen back into your skin. So, I mean, these basic oils, castor oil, also, I had seen a guy talking about with the castor oil, I guess there's a lot of information out about it, but you can even put castor oil into like a rag, and like you have pain, like where my shoulder will hurt. I can put castor oil on a rag, put it there, and then put a heat pad over that, and it absorbs that into, there's stuff inside of it that absorbs into your skin that takes away the pain and inflammation and all of that. So that's why I keep talking about the plant-based natural medicines that is the hidden truth from us, because, you know, they are marketing chemicals because that's where, you know, they are the AI fake world that is trying to lead us into, you know, droids taking over, and we're just the helpless energy source, you know, that they use. And, you know, we keep their world going by being, it's like we're not really participating. We think we're participating, but they're just using our energy. It's like on such a different level. Like people just, once you see it, you see it. But when you try and explain it to people who haven't seen it, it's, you know, they can't see it. You can try and talk to people that are trapped in the 3D, and even the words you use, like the way you talk, everything, it's different how they hear it, how they perceive it, because they're perceiving everything in this 3-dimensional trap. They aren't looking at it in a more complex way. They are definitely not, you know, pulling it in and trying to understand it on a soul level, you know. So it's up to us to, for our own selves, you know. It has nothing to do with what anyone else is doing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with everybody. You know, there's definitely people who are not going to be able to face themselves. It's going to be very treacherous. It's going to be very hard. And it's going to be very significant for everybody when the collective goes into this dark night. I don't think it's going to be like mine lasted for like 8 months or something. But I don't think it's going to be, it will be long for some people. And, you know, it probably is going to be more in like a few months kind of thing, you know. But we are go into a time that's all about healing, and it's not the time for people to start stepping on others and blaming others for where we're at. You know, like if you would have been awake, if you would have noticed sooner, this wouldn't be happening. No, this was always going to happen the way it's going to happen. It's meant to happen this way. And, you know, and every soul has its own way of waking up and what it wants to grow and learn from this. And this is all on a soul level. This has nothing to do with what people think it has to do with. It has to do with a totally different level. And unless you take the time to go in and try and understand life on that level, then nothing's going to make sense to you. But, you know, like I said, as you wake up to different things, it's up to you to see through the illusion and to pull free from these systems that have kept you trapped and kept you feeling small. And it's up to you to develop yourself. You know, if you've got yourself in a really unhealthy state of being, then it's up to you to focus on your health. if you are, bullying and stuff like that. It'll be up to you to recognize that you are the problem, not the other people. So anyways, all of this is, it seems like a lot of mass confusion and all these realities merging into one. But yeah, when the tsunami hits, this energetic tsunami that's going to flip everything right side up, then it's going to be, it's going to be like a big giant storm just came in, like a tsunami that hits the earth. And it is going to, tear everything up and break everything apart. And that's why, I say you got to stay focused on you and your truth and your inner knowing and have faith, because we're going to get through it. But it has to happen this way. It has to happen so we can move from one age to the next, because none of this garbage, none of the bullshit, none of this nonsense is going to go into the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is all about love, abundance, acceptance, freedom. It's going to be a completely different world, but you can't go into it if you are still of that other mind. This is your opportunity. Like the earth, the cosmos is giving you this opportunity, this ascension period, this period of time where you have this opportunity to evolve as a soul. But it's up to every soul to do it. You can't do it for somebody. You can't help somebody. You can do like what I'm doing and trying to put the information out there into the world to help people to see, it's like holding up that light so that they can see, oh, I'm feeling like crazy. I'm feeling like this. I'm noticing that. I'm so confused. When you go in and you start hearing other people talk about it, then it's like, oh, okay. Like this is something different happening. Oh, Jesus isn't coming. Oh, I've got to save myself. This is a period of time that the world is giving us, the cosmos is giving us, so that we can get prepared to go into the age of Aquarius. Not everybody's going to want to go into it. Some souls do want to stay and keep, as long as they keep saying, I hate life sucks. It's because they need to keep going in and learning more about it. So anyways, this is a time period of just, a complete evolution, and in the garden you have all of these different things growing, and some things are not going to grow as big and beautiful as other things. It's completely an individual thing for each person. Nobody can hold your hand. Nobody can help you heal. Nobody can even understand what is going on inside of your mind and how you perceive the world. That's your hidden truth. And so it's up to you to figure out who you are. It's up to you to connect with all that is and figure it out. It's up to you to recognize that this world is built on a fake illusion that is meant to trap you and to hold you small. It's up to each person to figure this stuff out for themselves. So anyways, I wasn't even planning on talking that long, and hopefully the stuff I've said, it makes sense. But yeah, they are disclosing more and more as we get closer about what's to come. And they want to pretend like it's just in the movies. No, we're moving into a really highly technological, sophisticated time, a time of travel where we will be galactically traveling. We will be able to go to other realities, and it's not going to be, just like what they are showing and saying. You have to just begin to understand what this world is. And, these movies are definitely there to just, this one too, I couldn't keep watching. It was driving me insane. But how much they try and create these tender moments, They're always like showing us. The movies are the biggest virtue signaling bullshit. I swear to God. They just are, it's like they're trying to train us into who we need to be. But you got to see it for yourself, You got to notice for yourself. This is all a self. Everything that's going on, this is about yourself. This is a self evolving. This is all about you, and together, all of us doing the work is the collective that will move forward into this age of Aquarius. So if you want to be in the age of Aquarius, and you are guided, that it's real and you want to be there, it's just about doing your inner work. It's just about focusing on self. It's just about your development of self, and realizing that you are independent from this system. We've got all these people over there suckling on it, thinking that they're not. They need their little mama to keep them safe. It's up to you to decide when you no longer need to be having your hand held across the street. That you figured out how to look both ways, and if a car is coming or not. It's our own development of self. So anyways, that's a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully it all made sense. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.